Welcome everybody to the DC New 52 review. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I am your host, Pauly DC, and let's get into another one of these things. Today I will discuss Earth-2 Vol.1. It was titled The Gathering, and it was written by James Robinson with art by Nicola Scott and Trevor Scott, who are not related, and issues 1 to 6 were released between July and December of 2012. This Earth-2 series was one of the more risky New 52 endeavors, as it stars young versions of two DC Golden Age heroes. There's Alan Scott, or Original Green Lantern, created by Martin Nodell and Bill Finger, in All-American Comics number 16, July 1940. Then we've got the first Flash, Jay Garrick, debuting in Flash Comics number 1, January 1940 by Gardner Fox and Harry Lampert. A third person rounded out the main stars, being Hawkgirl, who has one of the most confusing backgrounds when it comes to continuity. However, this version, Kendra Saunders, arrived in Justice Society of America, Secret Files and Origins number 1, August 1999 by James Robinson, David S. Goyer, and Scott Benefiel. Now, if you ignored the back of the book description on this volume, you'll notice the front cover contains Earth-2's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, which allows me to say that this opening story packed more content into its pages than a bus in India, so that means I need to get going. Issue number 1 begins 5 years ago with Earth-2 entering what would be called the Apocalypse War, as DC's trinity of heroes takes on hordes of invading parademons coming through teleport holes called boom tubes. The planet Apocalypse and parademons were created in New Gods number 1, while boom tubes showed up in Forever People number 1, all in March 1971 by the one, the only Jack Kirby. The big three go on to eliminate a lot of their enemies while narrating a bit, with Superman saying Lois Lane and Metropolis are already gone. Holy crap. Batman then goes on to assault the Parademon's main energy conduit, and his daughter Robin, or Helena Wayne, is covering him in a bat jet. In this universe, Bruce married Catwoman Selina Kyle, thus producing a female child, just to clarify on that. This world, Supergirl is also seen among the other still fighting heroes, and she is flying the skies, being spotted by a group of soldiers carrying atomic weapons, with important names here being Pratt and Harper. Things then briefly cut to Batman telling Kal and Diana how they can stop the invasion. However, I'm not sure if he accounted for the Roman god Mercury or Hermes in Greek myth to show up and saying even the gods are falling to Apocalypse forces, including her home, Amazon Island. So, she calls upon Superman to continue fighting by her side. That is until a high-leveled apocalyptic god, Steppenwolf, charges in to one-hit quit Wonder Woman with his powerful blade, while hundreds of the parademons go kamikaze, taking Supes with them. We've all seen him eat damage like that for breakfast before, so I'll just move along, quickly mentioning that Steppenwolf was first seen in New Gods number 7, February 1972 by Jack Kirby. Supergirl next zooms across the upper atmosphere to assist. The army guys that we saw earlier look to be goners due to parademons, and Batman is seen having made it to the energy tower's core with plans to blow it up, but he didn't tell Robin that he would have to be inside the explosion, meaning that's the end of Earth-2's Trinity. Wow. Plus, Supergirl and Robin wind up flying into a boom tube, aka World's Finest, which I will review. This whole sequence is now shown to be a story being told by Alan Scott, who is president of media company GBS, and he is traveling over what we'll find out to be called fire pits. Lastly, Jay Garrick is seen being called a bum by his future wife Joan, so he goes out for a hillside beer, only to watch the nearly dead Mercury crash out beside him. Issue number 2 opens on Earth-1's Michael Holt, or Mr. Terrific, quantum tunneling to Earth-2, which happened at the end of his 8-part New 52 title, and here Earth-1's third smartest person meets Earth-2's smartest person, Terry Sloan, or the first Mr. Terrific, and he says that he was expecting Holt going on to outwit him and his T-Spears with nanotech in order to kidnap him. Terry being a full-on antagonist was one of my favorite parts of this series. He came off super cool and goes back to Sensational Comics number 1, January 1942 by Charles Reisenstein and Hal Sharp. Over to Jay, he's now speaking with Mercury, who says all of the gods are dead, but he was being held captive by something even darker than Apocalypse. And it is now coming, so for his final act before demise, Mercury bestows his speed powers to Mr. Garrick, which also gives him a snazzy costume somehow, just in time for him to take off running from something called the World Army that tries to subdue him suddenly. He then tests out his new powers running across cities and helping people with Apocalypse War remnants in mutated rats. Don't ask me how he's mastered these flash powers immediately. However, he's got trouble with the brakes, ending up in friggin' Poland, where the crossbow-wielding Hawk Girl finds him. Wrapping up with Alan, he is in Hong Kong proposing to his partner Sam, because in the New 52, Mr. Scott was homosexual, which was progressive, I guess, considering Sam dies in a bullet train accident on the final page, and after this, spoiler, Alan is never seen with anyone else romantically. Issue number 3 continues right from the previous one, as the barely alive and highly mangled up Alan is looking for Sam amongst the exploded train, until suddenly the introduction of the green is brought in, and it controls the Earth's plant life while also being able to give Green Lantern ring-like abilities to people. And Mr. Scott goes on to chat with the green energy flame of the Earth that says he is Morpheus Voice, the One. There's hints that there's another entity out there that caused this train accident, plus he is told that something very dark and evil is coming, just like Jay was. Jumping over to Poland, Flash is told by Hawkgirl that someone called Fate helped her find him. Then she starts to attack the Flash in tests of his fighting skill, which absolutely sucks due to at one point him trying to throw dirt in her face. She's wearing a mask, dude. Maybe try a dirt storm next time. All you gotta do is run in a circle. The combat crash course then abruptly ends as all of the flora around them begins to die. Back to Alan, he decides to accept the green flame energy's offer to become the vessel of the Earth, and chooses the ring he was to give Sam as the object that controls the power, thus turning him into Green Lantern. This occurrence has awoken something, though, sensing that the Green has found a new champion, and before Alan can even take in what the hell he actually just agreed to while still mourning Sam, the White House seems to be in major trouble because in the final pages, loads of huge rotting vines invade the building at the behest of the Greys champion, Solomon Grundy, who came about originally in All-American Comics number 61, October 1944, by Alfred Bester and Paul Reinman. Issue number 4 kicks off with a bang. An atomic bang at that, actually, showing how those soldiers seen in issue number 1 expired due to carrying nuclear weapons, except one of them did survive and was recovered. His name? Al Pratt, or more commonly known as the First Adam. He was created by Bill O'Connor and Ben Flinton in All-American Comics number 19, October 1940, originally having no powers, but here, as you'll soon see when he's called in to deal with Grundy, his abilities are similar to his son Grant Damage Emerson and godson Albert Adam Smasher Rothstein. Due to, another spoiler, definitely not having kids in this series. Cutting over to Poland again, Hawkgirl and Flash decide to team up because of the quickly dying fauna and forests around them, and as Jay runs off with Kendra using her enhanced senses to see where they're going, Green Lantern is also seen zooming across the Pacific Ocean heading toward the same danger. The Wonders, as they are called on this Earth, are about to unite. Better hurry then, because Grundy is tearing apart Washington DC. However, even after Hawkgirl and Flash arrive to deal some serious damage to him, they realize that he's gonna be very difficult to put down. Which is a good time for me to briefly mention there's no mention of the Solomon part of his name, even though his origin ties are related to the nursery rhyme character. Also, he's typically a revenant zombie thing with no connection to the Grey, which is called the Black in Swamp Thing and Animal Man instead. Anyway, Hawkgirl valiantly tries to take Grundy on alone, resulting in her nearly getting her neck snapped, until Green Lantern shows up to saw Grundy's head in half. This then allows Flash to save all of the civilians around as well, and Adam is right over top the area getting ready to make a massive appearance while GL and Grundy continue to battle, except it is unclear whose side Adam is on early here, since he uses his oversized hand to grab Hawkgirl, then tells Alan and Jay to surrender. Awful course of action, dude. Issue number 5 starts with the Sandman character Wesley Dodds, who goes way back to New York World's Fair Comics, November 1938, by Gardner Fox and Burt Christman, and here he's rescuing the female USA president alongside his Sandmen, who all have phasing teleporting abilities. We then meet World Army leader Amar Khan, who's speaking with the World Council in their main control center, mentioning that Hawkgirl is one of theirs but went AWOL, also how the new heroes are being noticed by the public, and then Amar is superseded by his bosses when Terry Sloan is brought in to help, much to Mr. Khan's severe anger. Back over to DC, Adam is smacking around Green Lantern but getting his ass kicked by the Flash. Why the hell are you people fighting? There's a damn crisis at hand here. Things get especially dicey next when Grundy gets a little payback on Adam by means of a rotten vine burial, and even though he was a bit of a wiener to begin with, our three main stars get their first official team up going on to save Pratt, allowing him to join their group. Green Lantern then presents a counterattack on Grundy regarding him needing his trio of fellow Wonders to protect his body while he connects to the Green spiritually in order to take on the Grey directly. And he sure as shit does, as this risky gambit takes Alan into the deep, intense world of the Grey, wherein it immediately tries to corrupt him with promises and visions of his lover, Sam. Then, to finish, there is a snippet of Khan and Sloan arguing about other World Army heroes Red Tornado and Captain Steel, along with it being clear that Terry is seriously evil. Issue number 6 concludes this book with Commander Khan trying to attack Terry even fiercer now due to him calling a nuclear bomb strike on DC. Doesn't seem like something the smartest man on Earth would do, but okay. Also, the Quartet of Wonders are still in action against Grundy, which is being reported on by Sergeant Sonia Sato, or the third incarnation of the Judo Master, who isn't named until way later on here for some reason. Why? I don't know and I don't care. Things aren't looking to be progressing much in the gray, with Alan still being seduced by it, that is, until he gets his mind straight out of nowhere somehow, and breaks free ready with a new plan of returning himself to his body in order to snatch Grundy and fly into the sky just in time for a convenient interception of the incoming nukes, while taking heavy punches from his foe. Talk about carrying the team, sheesh. Hawkgirl and Flash watch the two heading higher into the atmosphere, but have to keep a closer eye on Adam, who tries to grab them again only to fail miserably. Then Amar is seen again, with the World Council being begged not to take Terry's side. There are some serious issues here. Anyhow, Green Lantern successfully diverts the nukes into space while simultaneously sending Grundy on a one-way trip to the moon, devoid of living life, thus leaving him powerless, and he's not the only one, as Alan has exhausted all of his power, careening back to the Earth where Hawkgirl's save catches him, thus annoying Sloane in the process. Things wrap up with the three stars meeting up to formally introduce themselves, while GL gives the planet a shot of adrenaline to help replenish its health. But then Alan comes off as a bit of an a-hole considering what these two strangers just did for him. Basically, he tells them thanks, but I don't need y'all anymore, then leaves the duo behind, questioning what to do next. Alright. The plot for this one started out quite jarring and jaw-dropping, but then mellowed out a bit with Grundy's attack while introing all the main players over the next 5 issues. It had good moments such as Terry's sneaky secret plans keeping you guessing, higher powers emerging to do battle with what pieces are available, sort of setting the table for what was to come. The character advancement did go kinda quick though. Jay is getting dumped and drinking by himself to becoming a total Boy Scout, covering every hero cliche in about 4 seconds. Alan's partner was used as a bigger plot device than John Wick's dog, and then after this his sexuality is hardly important. Hawkgirl, meanwhile, came off cryptic and on a big mission, then also was a rogue agent with no true 100% direction. As for the art, it was exquisite throughout. The facial designs and portions of the characters looked superb. The huge amount of fight scenes did not disappoint. There was lots of cool and striking imagery in every issue, just many things to enjoy visually in this first volume. Finishing up with dialogue, it came in crisp, collected. The way everyone spoke was differently well done. There was a bunch of talk of apocalypse throughout, and a little background on that place. It's a dystopian planet full of the parademons that we're seeing, and a powerful race of what are known as the New Gods. That's gonna wrap up this review for today though, and if you've watched until the end here, I want to personally thank you for that, and to please like, share, and subscribe. Please join me on all my social media platforms, and to please join me next time for more DC New 52 content.